All right, Jonathan Lazario. All right. So on this case, there is an offer that's due.
Judge, I came in here yesterday, confirmed with the state. She's not here. I'm sorry, I don't have her name. She told me yesterday that there was a intake prosecutor has given her new discovery. There was a phone dump that was done.
Okay.
So I'm having a USB device. I'll leave with the state today so that I can get that discovery.
Okay.
So Judge, I know that an offer's due, but I don't even have all the discovery yet. And this case was just indicted in September.
All right, so is there any other outstanding discovery?
Where 13, 18, I think that this was the last thing.
Yeah.
But
And I don't know the extent of it yet, Judge, but typically those are quite large files. So.
So first off, was there any CPS records in this case?
there are, and we have possession of them. Those should have been delivered to the defense.
Yeah, I need those as well, Judge.
All right, do you have a protective order for me to sign?
Yeah.
So for discovery, we have CPS records and are those going to be tendered today or you may need to make copies?
They can be tendered today, so you got USB.
I'm having a brought over, Judge.
All right,
I actually had it in my bag and I can't find it, so I'm having to
Okay.
bring another one.
and
Out of
then
picture.
the cell phone dump, you actually have that in your possession state?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. That's Ms. Jones's case, but.
Do you know if they have it in their possession?
About yesterday, then I take it with me.
Mrs. Jones indicated that the intake prosecutor just gave her that so that if I give the USB device today, she can give that to me and download
Okay.
it for me. Have it downloaded and I can pick it up.
All right. And I'm trying to think what else. All right, school records. Are there school records in this case?
I don't know, Judge. I know that I don't have school records.
All right, so state,
Yeah, good job.
if you can take this down.
Yes.
So I know you have the CPS records in your custody. The phone data is in your custody. Defense is going to bring USB to get that information from you. Since the nature of this case, if you all can make sure if there's some school records, mental health records, and whether or not the defense is entitled to mental health records, y'all can have that discussion if anybody wants to file a motion. And I'm just going based upon the nature of the case that maybe that is there.
Thank you, Judge.
So if you'll check for school records, any type of doctor's records, and that includes mental as well as physical records. I'm sorry, physical health records.
Yes, sure.
All right, state, you all are going to need to confer off docket and make sure that the defense has everything.
Yes, sure.
And you all need to confer off docket to tender an offer. And we are going to come back on December 11th to see where we are. And this will be a discovery setting. And most likely your jury trial will be in the new year if we come to that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Adriana,
Yes, ma'am.
are you able to do a reset form?
Yes, ma'am.
And it'll be for discovery and it's December 12th. I'm sorry, December 11th. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just have a seat. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you have,
I also have Fernando Trujillo, Judge. I do know that his federal setting.
oh, just 1 second. Let me find it on the docket.
Judge, that one, right here is on page 12 on the first one. And what was from the
All right,
other one?
so the last setting we were here, it says that the federal trial was set for October 27th. That's been moved.
It has, Judge. The next trial date is January 29th.
January 29th,
This is for trivia, right?
Yes.
This is for Trio, yes, sir.
Thank you.
And are you a part of this case as well?
Yeah, this is our case. Well, there's one with us and then I think his one with C2 as well.
All right. What I'm gonna do, even though I know his federal date is 1/29/26, I'm gonna call this back for the same date as the other case, and you all need to make sure that all of the discovery is given to them. So whenever the federal matter is taken care of, people will be ready.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. It's gonna be December 11th as well. And you can put it as discovery. All right, who's the prosecutor on Samuel Lamont? Rich. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. So on this case, have you all done an acknowledgement of discovery?
I don't believe so. I can. And then regarding the PTD status, an application was sent on 11/4.
Okay,
They haven't received the sign, but we're gonna execute a paper one and send it over to them this morning.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a PTD date.
I guess I'm looking at December 18th.
All right, December 18th, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Continue to do what they ask of you, okay?
Okay.
All
Thank you, Your
right,
Honor.
you're welcome. All right, counsel,
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
there was,
there you go, man.
all right, thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court, even though you're on Zoom. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Judge.
So you're still requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Judge, still requesting a jury trial, for the purposes of the court's calendaring. I do have a vacation letter on file after December 15th, Judge. Respectfully, if the court perhaps has something available early January. I conferred with the state, they're in agreement with a setting until then because of the holidays.
All right, state defense, if you confer with Ms. Ferguson on a date,
Right.
and then counsel, once you have that date, come forward and give me the date.
Okay,
All right,
I can
thank you.
just reapproach at that time, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, if you all do it now.
Okay.
oh.
Now,
And Mr. Mendoza,
Yes, Your Honor.
your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements with that good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
sure, that sounds good. Great. January 13th, if possible, Your Honor.
All right, your jury trial will be January 13th. You need to appear in person.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else, sir?
What time at 9 in the morning?
Yes, 9 a.m.
That's good, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
If you can make sure that I have a signed acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Your Honor, definitely will do.
All right, thank you. David Guerra.
Good morning,
Hello.
Judge.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, but except my wife is driving me a little crazy with her knees. Judge, I'm sorry, I want to apologize to the court for not appearing yesterday with respect to that situation.
No,
But,
that's fine. I understand.
She's scheduled for, you're gonna have to do a replacement on her right around December the 15th or 16th. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay.
So if we could get a trial date for sometime in January, we're gonna need a trial. I don't know.
All right, this is an old case.
Yes, I know, Judge.
I can put you for December 1st.
That's fine.
State. This is David Guerra on page 13. This is an old case. It needs to be completed before the new year. If y'all can confer with Ms. Ferguson on a date, and Norma, it has to be at the beginning of December. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
Your Honor, this is one of Megan's cases. I don't know how many witnesses there are, but I would imagine 3 days, give or take.
3 days.
Yes.
December 1st.
All right. So your jury trial will be for December 1st. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. And state on that case, can you make sure if there is more discovery that an updated acknowledgement or discovery is signed? Do you have all of the discovery?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, so we're
And we
gonna,
do have an acknowledgement on file.
yes,
Yes.
I just want to make sure there is nothing else. All right, so we're gonna come back on December 1st for jury trial. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge. Thank you.
Natasha Manning. Hello,
Hi again, Judge.
hello. So how's everything going?
With Ms. Manning,
Yeah, so what's with the VTC?
I reached out to one of the case managers, Mr. Reese. As of yesterday, the latest up-to-date news is that they're needing to staff her case. They notified me that they had a staffing date in mind, I believe, late November.
Okay.
So they wanted me to communicate to the court about requesting a reset, so they have time to staff.
And what date for the reset?
Your Honor, being that they still need a staff, and they did tell me that some of their staff is going to be out for the holiday season, I want to see if we can do the first week of January for status updates on that.
I mean, I can do the week of December 15th
15th.
and she can appear by Zoom.
Okay.
Oh, are you out?
Well, I will be out after the 15th, but I can do the 15th
Okay.
for Zoom on status update.
Yes. Ms. Ferguson, on this, it's going to be for a status on the VTC referral. And are you able to Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you don't have to appear in person, you can appear by Zoom.
Okay.
And counsel, if you're aware of something before the December 15th, and I know you have contact with your client, then we may be able to move that date.
Definitely will, Your Honor. I'll apprise the court.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
We're gonna get a reset and then you'll be able to go. So just wait from there and go by there.
All right, Nichelle Harrison. Hello, how are you doing today? All right, did you receive an offer from the state?
I already have, Judge.
All right, and are you rejecting that offer?
Yes,
All right, you want a jury trial?
yes.
All right, you can either have a jury trial or a bench trial. If you have a bench trial with me, I'll be able to get your case in sooner. But what I can tell you, well, have you discussed with your client the difference between a bench trial and a jury trial?
I already mentioned that we're doing a jury trial only.
No, my question is, have you discussed the difference between a bench trial and a jury trial with your client?
If you'd like to do that, Judge, you're fine with that, but we're doing a jury trial.
All right, so you have a choice between a bench trial or a jury trial. The state, if you decide you want to do a bench trial, the state will have to agree to your having a bench trial because they're entitled to a jury trial as well. If you do a bench trial, what will end up happening, instead of having 12 people decide your case, evidence will be presented to me. And what I can tell you is, if the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they're unable to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. Do you understand?
Mhm.
All right, so do you want a bench trial or a jury trial?
Jury trial.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, bring this back for the first week in December. All right, you're going to come back December 1st for your jury trial, and you will be brought over dressed in the clothing that you have. If you wish to be attired in something different, you'll need to do a clothing exchange for your attorney, and counsel, that has to be done within 72 hours of trial.
Judge, we already filed a motion as you suggested yesterday, but there is no one able to provide her clothing. We discussed that this morning, so there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, are you not able to go out and buy her clothes and then the county will reimburse you? If that's what you all want to do.
What was that again?
I said, if you want to, because when I was a defense attorney, I had clients who didn't have anybody. So I would go out and buy them clothing and the county would reimburse me for whatever the amount of clothing was. Of course, you can't go out and buy Gucci or Armani. I would just go to Walmart, or either I would go to Goodwill and I would pick out a nice outfit and that's what they would have and the county would reimburse me. It's completely up to you.
I see that, Judge. You're going straight to heaven, but I'm going to hell. I don't know about that.
All righty. So if you
See.
want a different outfit and your attorney wants to bring it to you, I'll sign the reimbursement form.
Thank you,
But
Judge.
your jury trial is December 1st.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, that's a motion to revoke. Could I see the documents on that? And what's the MTR about?
So he's got a couple of number lunch, Your Honor, that our understanding is they are out of another jurisdiction, and Lauren's spoken to the prosecutor out there, and they would prefer us not to put on evidence of their cases to protect the record on theirs. And since we have no other allegations, we have nothing to go forward on.
All right, and what alleged county is this?
Nueces County, Judge.
Nueces County, and how
Corpus.
far is, oh, Corpus. All right, thank you. All right. So you all are asking that the motion be withdrawn?
Yes, sir.
Are there any additional conditions you feel need to be added?
Judge, Lauren and I kind of talked about this and, to be quite honest, we're at a loss of what conditions need to be added. I would suggest maybe GPS.
What do you feel you need to be successful in probation? Because as soon as I get this, I'll be able to. Let me see, you're charged with evading arrest, detention with a vehicle. Was this a deferred adjudication? Yes, so it was a deferred adjudication. So you're looking at 10 years in the prison if your probation were revoked. So they're withdrawing this. But what do you need to be successful in probation?
Yeah, I'm fine, but, rehab. Yeah, need rehab.
What's your, you say rehab, but what's your issue?
Drinking.
And that's all?
Yes, sir.
Are you employed?
Yes, I was,
Doing what?
Amazon, I was working at Amazon.
Do you have any children?
I'm
Sorry, what?
So Judge, may I?
Yes.
He completed state ISF, September of 2024. He did 92 days there. The recommendation that was originally on his TAP evaluation was for safety. I don't see any other conditions to really address any type of addiction issues or anything like that. I do show that he has not completed his aggressive driving course. And there are a couple no contacts. There is permission to transfer to Nueces County. I believe that's where he lives.
So he can't be placed in any type of inpatient treatment because he has these pending cases.
That's correct, Judge.
And as far as what is the alleged complainant's name on the cases out of Nueces? What is the alleged complainant's name on the cases out of Nueces? What is the complainant's name? The person you're accused of committing a crime against, do you know their name?
Tyree,
I'm sorry, what?
Tyree,
Tyreek?
Tyree,
Tyree what?
Lockett.
All right, so we'll need to do a no contact order with that person. And if you could call the prosecutors there and find out what the name is. And so it will be a no contact with that person and you let probation know. And then we can, he says he has an alcohol problem. We can do the sober support meetings or either outpatient treatment. And was he on gang evaluation there? Okay, so let's alternate amend conditions. And are they allowed to do GPS there?
After I looked over it, Judge, with it being in Nueces County, he would have to like do the GPS from, if you're still having him permission to transfer there, you would have to do it there, not here.
All right,
I think he's remanded without bond in Nueces, so he's not getting out anytime soon, most likely.
okay. So there'll be no contact with the complainants. And you'll give us the name of that person?
I'm looking at the keys number right now. So
Thank you. And then we'll do supportive outpatient treatment.
Upon release.
Yes. And then if you can see if they'll give him partial GPS there for employment only. And then if they don't do that, then they don't do that. Is there anything else that you need?
No, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else?
Judge, I would say the 30 sober support meetings in 30 days.
All right, there'll be 30 sober support meetings in 30 days, and that's upon release. But they may have it where you can do it at the jail. I know they have classes at the Bear County Jail, and at Nueces County, they may have courses for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going to end up happening since this has been withdrawn? You're going to be transferred back to Nueces County. When you're released from there, you need to immediately contact your probation officer upon release. If you're released at 1 a.m., you need to contact them next business day. If you do not, that's going to be a violation of your probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Maybe excuse, thank you. He says he's already ordered into safety because he had an MTR, Jesus Lopez.
All right, if you can have probation, look it up.
Okay,
Because that's gonna have to be lifted because they're not gonna accept him. And he'll just be in limbo. So if you'll, she says, Mr. Lopez said that he was already ordered into safety
through Nueces.
from
Since
Nueces.
he's on probation there, he picked up the 2 new cases. And the probation there gave him safety, so he's on his way to safety. And I think now that we resolve this, he's gonna resolve those cases with probation. So I don't know if he needs the sober supports.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens.
Okay, so just leave it as it is. If
Yes.
he goes to safety, then maybe he can get credit for it.
Yes, but the problem is they're not even gonna send him to safety until he takes care of those
So it
cases.
resolves everything.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Just keep us updated.
Will do.
All right, Jesse Garza.
Yes.
Hello. Hi, and counsel, you're currently in jury trial,
Yes, Judge.
as are we.
Good for you guys.
Is this criminal trial division or family violence?
CTD.
Criminal trial division? Can you confer with the defense and Ms. Ferguson on a jury trial date? Counsel is currently in trial.
Jesse goes, Lauren and I were bringing on the kids.
How long do y'all expect it to last? How long do you expect it to last?
With jury selection, maybe 3 days.
All right. Norm, I need a 3-day reset for jury trial. Hunter? If we can do it this year, are you all available this year? All right, they're saying this year. Okay. All right, thank you for dressing appropriate for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Deputy. Stand by, wait for counsel.
Oh, just have a seat and he'll bring it to you. Juan Guillen?
Thank you.
No, Juan Pablo Guillen.
Right, he's my client. I'm Jay.
Hi, yeah. So where is he?
I don't know, Judge.
All right, could you make an
Down
announcement?
on bond.
All right.
Ryan.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 011964, State versus Juan Pablo Guillen. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
Jay Moritz, is from Mr. Gillian.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. The court called docket. It is now 9:55 a.m. The defendant has not answered docket or made an appearance. Deputy, did you make an announcement for the defendant?
Yes.
And what were the results?
No answer.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I know he bonded out, not been able to contact him.
All right, state.
We're asking for a bond forfeiture and a warrant. Your Honor.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. Thank you. Who's here on Daniel Ramos Balderas? All right. And this is a motion to revoke. Where's your client? All right, are parties ready to proceed? All right, if you'll come down. Court is calling 2024 CR 2985 State versus Daniel Ramos Balderas. Can I have parties announced for the record?
John Guided,
And are you Mr. Balderas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you all proceeding with your contested hearing? All right, So I'm showing you, Mr. Balderas, what is entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Daniel Ramos Balderas who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2024? Thank you. CR 2985 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 24th, 2024 for a period of 2 years. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number one, on or about the twenty-third day of August, 2025 in Kendall County, Texas, the defendant Daniel Ramos Balderas committed the offense of evading arrest in violation of condition number one.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
State will waive the remaining.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number one, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number one true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, the proposed agreement is to grant state's motion, enter an adjudication of guilt and sentence to 14 months in the state jail facility.
All right, and what is happening with the evading arrest case and the theft case?
So.
Oh, those are out of Kendall?
Yes, Judge, I spoke with the Kendall County prosecutor and was given permission to plead true to this evading, and then they asked that all the others be handled in Kendall County.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Daniel Ramos Balderas.
All right. So what have you done since you've been on probation?
I completed 9 months of GPS monitor with no violations. I was given 120 hours of community service, but was waived if I would to get my GED or diploma. I got my high school diploma. I completed my theft court class, level 2. My UAs, I was coming out clean. I only had about one negative UA. Other than that, I haven't had no violations my whole time on probation. While I was on monitor, no violations as well. I was on curfew on time, was paying all my monthly fees on time, and I was also employed as well, working my whole time, and I was basically done with everything on probation. Just I was just waiting for my officer to. She was going to request the early termination on probation, but we never fell through with it.
All right, probation
Yes, Judge.
is what is the information he's given me true? So where did you go wrong? And I don't want you to talk about your other cases because I don't want you to cause your other attorney to not have certain defenses.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm trying to find out if there was something else we could have done for you where you would have been successful.
I mean, I was pretty successful myself. I feel like I just put myself in a situation that I wasn't really like. I just wasn't in the right state of mind at the time, and I wasn't thinking about the consequences at the time, and I was just around some people that really were just not part of my circle or anything.
And what did I tell you about consequences and making better decisions?
Yes, Your Honor.
So are you asking me to follow this agreement?
I mean, I would like to get reinstated, but if I can't, I mean, I would
No,
I
and
could've
let me
did.
just tell you why, because I don't like people to think that I just do things haphazardly.
Yes, Your Honor.
The reason why is number one, you have these other cases that are pending from another county. So there's nothing, no class that I can give you because you're going to be in limbo because you have these other cases out of the other county.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, how much time does he have in? Does anybody know? All right, thank you.
It was August 23rd that he was, since he was a kindergarten.
Okay. But I can tell you, if you don't start making better decisions in your life is going to be over. How old are you?
20 years old.
You're 20. I can tell you based upon my experience, once you hit 21, everybody thinks, yay, let me have my first drink. I'm 21. Let me celebrate. But once you hit 21, the years start coming so fast. You look up, you're in your 50s. And if you don't get back on the right track, it's not going to go well for you. You're going to end up becoming institutionalized. You're going to end up in somebody's prison. I don't know what's going to happen with those cases in the other county, but even in those other cases, if you end up going to prison or end up going to jail, do not become institutionalized. Get back on track. Whatever they do with those cases, if they sentence you to length of time, guess what? It's not a permanent sentence, right? At some point you finish it. So don't go, if you end up in prison, don't go there, start getting face tattoos and all of that, because that eliminates certain jobs that people would even been willing to look at you to hire you.
Yes, Your
Or
Honor.
either you're gonna end up spending a lot of money on concealer. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right. All right, are you asking the court to follow this agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what the court is gonna do. The court is finding violation of condition number 1 true. The court is gonna revoke find you guilty. There's to be no contact with Kevin, Ricardo, Alvarez, Sandoval, Maybelline, Ashley Cortez. And the court will sentence you to 12 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because you truly have done a lot on probation. And if there were good requests for early termination, if everything would have been completed, I would have given it to you. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Make better choices.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Jason Ordona.
Jason Fonda. And he has, do you need to do anything first?
Yes, why were you late?
That's what I was gonna address, Judge. He's got a misdemeanor setting on the 18th. This is his first sitting in this court. I didn't advise him of this setting. And so really I've got to take the hit on him being
All
late.
right, so court in here is at 9 o'clock, so you need to make sure you're on time, okay? All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, counsel, on this case, do you know if you have the discovery?
I believe so, Judge. I would like another setting just to make certain. I did confer with the state already. And we started discussing things.
All right, how old are you, sir?
I'm 40.
40. All right. Ms. Ferguson. Yes. Recall this for the beginning of December.
December 2nd?
All right, we're going to come back on December 2nd. State at that time on December 2nd on Arredondo, who's on page 10, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Ordona.
Ordona, thank you. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jasmine Briseño. Oh, so here's my first question. Why shouldn't I take you into custody?
because of me,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you because of what?
because I don't think I should go to jail or something.
I mean, you should, because let me tell you why. You were in this court on October 14th and you were late. And I informed you not to be late again, and you're currently late.
Yes,
And if I drug test you today, what are the results going to be?
me. I haven't smoked. Yes, now I'm willing to take one right now and then come back. I would be allowed to.
Do you want me to do that?
I
Mr.
judge,
Toshi?
I believe her. I really do. She's on house arrest. She's not going anywhere. She's not, you know. Do I want you to? No, but do I think she'll pass? I do. Honestly, I really do.
All right, we'll do one today.
And just so you know, Jasmine can tell you what I have been telling her about being on time in this court. And trust me, I have dressed her down twice now about being here on time and told her that this will happen, and it's happening. So just the court knows I have emphasized how important it is to get here in this court on time. She does rely on others to get here. So, you know, partly her fault, partly not, but I think that's part of the problem.
All right, let me tell you what part of the problem is with you. One, I can make sure I know where you are and that you'll be on time, maybe because the jail will bring you over. And let me just tell you what's in the system. This case was transferred from another court. And guess what it says on September 2nd, 2025? Defendant late to court. And then guess what it says on October 14th with me? Defendant late for court. So this whole depending on others, then maybe you can't depend on others. Maybe you need to take the via bus.
Yes, ma'am.
State on this case, where are we on discovery? Where are we on offers on this case?
Your Honor, I believe the discovery should have been taken care of when the case got, well, I mean, it existed in another court, so all the discovery should have already been there. I'm not aware of any new discovery that hasn't been turned over.
And I think that's what we're here for. I believe that they have given us the discovery, and I'm confirming that to the court. I have been dealing with Ms. Galloway on this particular case, who's trying to get up to speed on it. I have not yet. She's going to get me an offer that hasn't happened yet. And I'm, you know, being patient with them, understanding it's a court that just got a case that got dumped into their lap very recently. So that's kind of where we all are right now, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
we called this for December 18th. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not on time, a warrant's going to be issued.
Yes, ma'am.
Unless there is some reason why it shouldn't be.
If there is, I'll let you know, and I'll emphasize again to her the need to be here on time.
All right, and Norma, you can set that for discovery and an offer to be tendered.
My apologies. It won't happen again because if I need to take the bus, I will, and I'll make sure I'll be here on time instead of you getting a ride from anybody else.
Oh, let me just tell you, in taking the bus, there's no shame in it. I used to take the bus as an attorney. I enjoyed it because I was able to leave the driving to someone else. And guess what? I picked up a lot of clients on the bus because everybody, Doc, who rode the bus with us, Doc would say, "This is Stephanie Boyd. She's an attorney." And people who had DWIs were on the bus. And so
Yes, ma'am.
they would say, "Give me a card."
Then you get the weirdos too.
No, I will tell you, I enjoyed taking the bus. I met some great people. And I don't know why sometimes people are ashamed of being on the bus. And I'm like, I don't know why people are ashamed. It was great. I will tell you, I didn't like taking the 92 because that's the Fredericksburg bus. I would take it if I just had time on my hands because it goes throughout the entire city. But if I could catch the 90 or the 92, I was like, yay, because the 90 takes you on the freeway, which is a frightening prospect. But that bus driver, you know what he would do? He would put on his leather gloves with no fingers. And I was like, okay, what's happening here? And we would be zooming, but it was awesome.
Driving gloves. There's one thing I forgot.
Mhm.
She is on GPS. Her GPS officer, as I understand from Jasmine, she lives in an apartment complex. And attached to that apartment complex is a park for the residents. Park is not on her portion of the apartments. It's kind of broken up. The GPS officer, to my understanding, is okay if she has young children and a dog. She would like to go there. Does the court wish for me to file a formal
You
motion?
have to talk to the state to see if they have an issue with
They
that.
don't. I spoke to Ms. Gunnels already and so.
Once you, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
There you are, Council.
Oh.
And you all need to sign that. All right, you can step back. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you so much, Joe.
All right, who's next?
I have, Jorge, where? He's on page 1.
Jorge Alberto Cuellar Guevara.
I apologize.
Oh, here he is.
Mr. Tucci was supposed to let me know what he was at. So
All right.
I had a sixth sense about it. Morning, Your Honor. How you doing?
Hello. All right, where are we on? Yeah, where are we on discovery?
Yes, Judge. So the state does have a phone dump. We talked about getting that phone dump today. I downloaded it right over there. And so we do have an offer. I want to review that phone dump before we accept that offer. But I believe we're inclined to do that. I'd just be asking for a 1-week reset.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 1-week reset for disposition.
Is that Thursday?
It's a Thursday.
I'm here.
All right, we will be back on November 20th.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Adencio Gonzalez. All right. Norma, this needs to be set for jury trial before the new year. All right, that's your jury trial date. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
The judge got another case that's gonna be a plea,
Okay,
but we're working on that.
all right, thank you. Sorry, page 5?
Page 5, I believe.
No, that's Manisha Moore. Who do you have?
Troy Moore. Oh, okay. I apologize. Troy missing in action. And that is on page 7. Be down.
Right. Ms. Abrams, do you know anything about this case? Because it was a VTC referral.
We talked about it.
I don't have anything in my email, an outcome, Judge. I reached out to BTC this morning, but as you're aware, we're having the graduation today. So, I think they're just busy with that and I'm not able to get in contact with them.
Since we reset, my client made bond and my office has been trying to reach him. No answer.
All right, any contact with the bondsman?
Yes, they called the bondsman to verify any numbers. I mean, I had them calling this morning because they called the day before on all my clients. They were unable to reach him yesterday, reached out. And so,
All
I don't
right,
know.
Deputy, could somebody make the announcement for? Yes. Okay. And it's gonna be Troy James Moore. Court is calling 2025 CR 009908, 2025 CR 009982, State versus Troy James Moore. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Meredith Chacon here for Mr. Moore, Your Honor. We've made attempts to locate him today.
Second. So this hearing was called at 9 a.m. It is now 10:24 a.m. The defendant has not answered the docket. Deputy, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Judge, he's not open.
All right, defense, have you had any contact?
Judge, no, we have not. My office has made several attempts to contact him, particularly yesterday and this morning. There has been no contact at the number that we were provided, so.
State? All right, that will be granted. The court will issue a bond forfeiture. Remain your client without bond. If he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Gabrielle Scott Pizzana. Hello,
Judge,
good morning. So what's happening with this case?
they just extended an offer and we needed time to go through that.
And he's identified some other information that he didn't share with me, we had shared with you previously. We need to investigate that also.
All right, and how old are you?
79 hours.
All right, Norma, recall this for a plea deadline date, December 8th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for addressing appropriately for court. All right, can I see the parties on Brianna Marie Gonzalez? Court is calling 2025 CR 008222 State versus Brianna Marie Gonzalez.
Melissa Albin for the state.
Todd Lessard for Ms. Gonzalez.
And are you Miss Gonzalez? We're here today for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest to the offense of robbery. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State is silent on your application. There's a restitution amount that is listed as $2,000. However, in the PSI report, it states that they have not been given proof of any restitution, but that's what you all have agreed to. Taking consideration 2025 CC 003927. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
I have not, Your Honor. But I believe we're silent, so I don't anticipate having much comment on it.
Any objections?
No objection to the PSI, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we have applied for deferred adjudication. This is Ms. Gonzalez's first offense as an adult. She's young. She's just applied for the ability to go back and obtain her high school diploma that's starting on the 18th. She's currently employed. She has a place to stay. This was a very large lapse of judgment, which she understands. She understands the consequences of her actions. And if the court is willing to grant her the deferred education application we've put in, she understands that even one little toe over the line carries with it some very significant consequences. Judge, we'd ask that you please grant our application for deferred adjudication and allow Ms. Gonzalez to prove to this court that she can be a productive, non-offending member of society.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Brianna Gonzalez.
All right, you need to speak up, so,
Brianna Gonzalez.
all right, so why did you do this?
Your Honor, I made a mistake. I was hanging around with the wrong crowd and
No. Let me just tell you, don't do I was hanging around with the wrong crowd, because if that other person were before me, they would say they were hanging around with the wrong crowd. And I would say, who is that? And you know who that would be? You. So why did you do this?
I wasn't thinking right. I was being dumb and ignorant.
Well, this person is supposed to be your friend. Is that not true?
No, Your Honor.
That's what it says in the stipulation, that they knew you. And this person gave you and the other person who you were with, who was your friend, a ride. And then you said, well, you know what? I just want to talk to them with us two alone. And then that person got out of the car so you could speak to them. And then you immediately get out of the car, get in the driver's seat, take off and hit that person with the vehicle. That's what the stips are. So why would you do this to a person who's supposedly your friend?
Arguing at the time, Your Honor.
No, it doesn't say anything about you arguing with him in the steps. What it says was, victim works as a taxi driver, gave his friend, that's you. So since they say friend, I'm assuming that you all have a prior relationship and he considers you a friend. So he gave you a ride and your other friend a ride. So your friend with a taxi driver and you have your friend with you, and he gives you both a ride. And I'm assuming he was doing this out of the kindness of his heart. Did he charge you guys any money?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So he gives you a ride and you go to an apartment complex and you tell him, I want to speak to my friend in private. So the victim gets out of the vehicle and then you immediately jump into the driver's seat and drive away. The victim gets hit by the vehicle that you're driving. And it says the victim had pain on his left knee from the vehicle hitting him. The defendant, that's you, struck the apartment complex gate, tearing off the front bumper to the victim's vehicle. So again, why are you doing this?
Your Honor, I was drinking that day.
I don't understand how drinking makes you do this. Because how did you end up even getting a ride from him? Did you pick up the phone and call him?
No, Your Honor, we were all under the influence at the pool, at the apartment complex, and went to go pick up more alcohol, and that's when I took the car.
No. I mean, there has to be a point where he's giving you a ride.
No,
Where
Your
does that come in?
We left from the apartment complex, Your Honor. It was me, my friend, and Moji. We were there at the apartment complex, and we all took off from the apartment complex, and we all left. He didn't give us a ride. We were all just riding together.
Okay. And then what happens?
I took off in his car,
Why?
Your Honor, because I wanted to leave where we were at, and I wanted to get back home, and we were arguing that same night. We had got into an altercation with my other friend.
That's not what the steps say. The steps say that you told him that you wanted to speak to your friend in private.
No, Your Honor, we didn't speak in private. We were all right there with the windows down.
No, I'm just telling you what the stipulations say. So why do you think I should give you probation and not send you to prison?
Your Honor, I'd like to get my life together and change my ways. I was a troubled teenager for my grandparents. Grew up in the CPS system, and I always ran away. And I feel like me getting myself together would be better and change my ways so I can accomplish my goals and work and continue taking care of my grandparents.
All right. And do you have any children?
No, Your Honor.
Thank goodness. So you said you grew up in CPS?
Yes, Your
So where are your parents?
Honor. I don't talk to my mom or my biological dad, Your Honor.
So you're just living with your grandparents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who all lives with the grandparents?
It's me and my ex-parents.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And if you're drug tested today, what would the results be?
Your Honor, I smoked last night.
All right. And did you smoke at your grandparents' house?
No, Your Honor.
Where did you smoke?
Yesterday I went out with friends.
See, you're still making the same choices. And if you're coming to me and you want probation, the least you can do is come clean and sober. And you're not even doing that. So you're still making the same choices that are not good choices. So when you're smoking marijuana, are you going to tell me you were with the wrong people
No, Your Honor.
or hanging out with the bad crowd?
No.
You're part of the bad crowd. And do you have employment?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I work at a range.
What does that mean?
Uh,
What do you do?
I take score of like when they shoot the rifles, and I take care of my grandparents on the side also.
All right, so that taking care of the grandparents, you're not doing a good job. So that's not going to be there. So you say you work on a range. So what are they shooting?
They're shooting like little birds. You push the button and they shoot.
Oh, it's the fake birdie things. And so what is your job?
I sit down and I just, I'm a referee pretty much.
Okay. And does that pay enough to support you?
Yes,
And is that a full-time job?
it's part-time.
All right, so you're gonna have to get a full-time job, you understand? And your grandparents, they're letting you stay there, so their rules apply. And if you want me to give you probation in this case, you're gonna be on GPS.
Sure.
Is there anything, State, you wish to say? I know you're silent. I don't know if there's something you wish to say with regards to facts.
Your Honor, I know that the defendant had her recitation of the facts and the court is reading the facts from the STIPs. We don't have any information that the STIPs are inaccurate, so that's what I'll rest on.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I also have a dismissal. For you.
Oh, This is county
Oh,
court.
no,
You'll have
you're
to
right.
take it there.
Misdemeanor.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Thank
No
you.
problem. All right, probation. What conditions do you believe can help her? We are obviously have drug issues. Bad decision making.
Outpatient, it is recommended along with some support needing the regular random UA. I would also include more recognition therapy.
All right.
I know that she has her, high school diploma.
How far did you go in school?
8th grade, Your Honor.
She's,
Why did you-
she's starting her program on the 18th, Judge.
All right, why did you drop out of school?
I was in CPS. They were taking me from foster home to foster home.
Okay. Oh. Do you need any type of therapy?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So if we can do some sort of trauma therapy, I've done a lot of CPS cases before in my career as a defense attorney, so I know that there are issues. And I know a lot of times children get moved from place to place, and that's a bad thing because you've already been separated from your family, and whether your family is good to you or not, you love them. And then you get moved to a new place, and then a new place, and then a new place. Do you have siblings?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you all separated?
Yes.
And have you had any contact with them?
Just got back in contact with them, Your Honor.
All right, so I don't know how your siblings are doing, but do not bring drama and conflict into their life. You had a bad start in life, and the reason why you've had a bad start is because you've been in CPS care, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna have to turn things around and break the cycle. Please do not go out here and start having children until you are able to support yourself and support children. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do not choose some random guy to be the father of your child. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is there any gang affiliation with you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, probation, this is what I'm gonna do. 6 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Intensive outpatient treatment with probation. I'm going to ask that with the UAs, test for levels, those levels had better start going down. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The MRT, take in consideration 2025 CC 003927. A $2,000 fine that will be probated. There's to be restitution to and no contact with Mojib, MOJIB, Rahmani, RAHMANI, and the restitution amount is $2,000. Probation, I'm going to ask for 200 hours of community service restitution. 100 of those hours will be waived upon completion of GED or trade school certification. The remaining community service hours you'll need to do. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, do you think we need GPS?
I don't think it's.
All right. Is there anything else we need probation?
No, I just want to know, are you getting a position for her to get the principal?
No, because sometimes I would tell you, sometimes I realize some people are not good test takers, right? So what I'm telling you, if you obtain your GED or if you get a trade school certification, I'll deduct 100 hours of your community service restitution. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then probation, if possible, some type of trauma therapy for her, please, to address CPS issues. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Everybody, I can guarantee you, your attorney has probably had bad things happen to him. Nobody has had a great life where they've just gone through and their life has been perfect. But you can overcome it, but you're going to have to fight to overcome it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at some point in time, the fact that you were in CPS care, the fact that your parents didn't do what they needed to do, at some point in time, your choices become your own. And what I can tell you in this court, since you're on probation, at this point, you can put it on a calendar. Any choices you make, those are going to be your own choices. It's not going to be my parent did this or my parent did that. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to court, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And here's my advice to you. I have no problem with tattoos, right? But if you want people to look at you and want to read your book for employment, you're going to have to stop with the face tattoos and stop with the piercing of the face. And let me just tell you why. Because if you come in for a job, some people are not going to take the time to look beyond this, right? They're just going to say, I don't think that person will be good. And they're going to move on to the next person. And you don't want that. You want people to get to know you and then say, yeah, this person is going to be great. All right. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Who's next?
Probation.
Mary Elizabeth Sanchez. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Okay.
All righty. Let me,
But she has two cases. There's one under her married name of Cable Duke, 2021, and a 2025 case under her maiden name of Sanchez.
okay.
Should make sure.
All right.
We're asking for a reset of both of these. The 2020 case, 2021 case is incorrectly indicted. They're going to re-indict the alleged wrong group. It's been a long time. And the other one, there is some discovery that we haven't been able to get, but she is a large, extra large discovery.
State.
State is now downloading that and we're going to pick it up this afternoon.
All right.
And I'm going to visit with Ms. Sanchez this weekend. So we're asking if we can do this just before or just after Thanksgiving. I go out of state on the 8th of December.
All right. You go out of state on December 8th.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to come back and we're going to come back. Norma, have this case brought back on December 4th. And that's going to be the final discovery date. And then it's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date. Because this case is old.
Well, one of them is, the other is
Yes.
not. This is
I
on
know.
the second appearance on the other,
Okay.
25.
All
And the
right.
old one, as I mentioned, they sat on it for so long, they alleged the wrong drugs. That was wrong.
I was just gonna say a plea offer has also been extended because I know it's
Yeah.
taking
Okay.
more time than the.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. David Duenas. All right. Yes.
Okay, so I've not made contact with the victims, so I understand where probably would be best to have this MTR set for a contested.
No, I mean, we're set for a contested, are we not?
I'm happy with that, Judge, but I
Yes.
wanted to speak.
Was it not set for a contested?
Yes.
All right.
Actually, you wanted to hold off on deciding the bond to see if they made contact with her, so we'd like to reurge our request for a bond.
All right. Can you pull the bond motion, please? And Norma, I need a contested date before the new year.
He doesn't find it just to have one in my bag. I just left it downstairs.
All right, December 16th, that will be your contested hearing on the motion to revoke. And this is the same case you're asking for a bond, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge. He has been in custody for about 10 days at this point, so he has a job that's waiting for him, but I'm not sure how long they'll complete it. That's our concern. And I would also mention to the court that he's on a $40,000 bond for the case that caused this MTR to be filed, which is the same complaint they can't get hold of.
All right. So with regards to your bond issue, Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
call Judge Nahara and see if he can take their bond issue. All right, I'm sorry, who's next? You said Felix Beltran?
Yes, ma'am. I'll page 7, one down.
All right, Felix Beltran. All right, we're currently in jury trial, so I can't do 2 trials at once, although we have done that once before. But because of the holidays, it's just not doable. So is this criminal trial division?
Yes.
All right. If y'all can discuss a jury trial date with Ms. Ferguson, and that will be your jury trial date, but you dressed appropriately for trial. All right, so just have a seat. They're gonna confer on what is a good jury trial date, and then we'll let you know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Beltran, your case has been set for December 1st. However, you're not number 1, so maybe your case will go at that time, maybe not, all right? All right, thank you. And counsel, Mr. Martinez, can you make sure that the court has an acknowledgement of discovery? All right, thank you. Who's next?
Yes, ma'am. Wesley, page 7, 5 down.
Wesley Lynch.
He's in custody, Judge.
All right, come down. Is he out here?
He's in custody, yes.
Oh, come down. All right, counsel, where are we on discovery?
Discoveries, were no issues, Judge.
All right, and has an offer been tendered?
Offer has.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for the first week in December for a plea deadline date.
Judge, the reason why we're asking for the reset is Mr. Lynch has another case with where Attorney Eric DeWalt represents him. It's an assault, family violence, strangulation, choking. So he wanted a chance to confer with him to see whether they're gonna be contesting that, or if that might be a deal they can work out, which would potentially take this case into consideration. If not, we'll know. So I would ask for a reset because I don't know Mr. DeWalt's busy.
Oh,
man.
that's what I am. Ms. Ferguson, the first week in December.
December
Well, I would ask for a longer reset. That's what I was.
Okay, all right. I'll see y'all back on December 2nd. And Norma, can you make sure that Mr. DeWalt is here as well? This is Wesley Lynch. And DeWalt is on 2025 PF 42325. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rafael Rodriguez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I hadn't seen you in a while.
It's been a while. It
Oh,
was obvious today.
Oh, you're on this
I
side.
didn't even know
Yeah.
procedurally how to approach the bench. Good to
Oh,
see you.
good to see you. So have you written your memoir yet? I keep telling you, you need to write it.
Thank
I
you.
remember the lunch we had and you were telling me about the Miss America pageant and
Some-
everything.
Some of the things that happen just can't make this stuff up. It's
Yeah.
just,
Can you believe that Mexican Manhattan is closed? I just find that strange.
It's that place too. Yeah.
All right, so on this case, you've hired an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so where are we state with discovery with this counsel?
I believe that we have all the discovery in, Judge. It's just a matter of giving defense a chance to review it.
Okay, and has the offer already been tendered?
There's been some tentative offers, nothing official. Defense wanted some time to go through it all and talk with his client, Judge. There's some discussion about a request for PTD, but we need to come up with a finite restitution amount. So I told defense that I would talk with our victim, run that by him.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, you all are gonna have to confer on Docket. Set this for a plea deadline date and put it at the last time we're here in December, December 18th. All right, so we'll be back on December 18th. You all just confer off docket on the offer, and then we'll have you back. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Good seeing you, counsel. All right, once he signs the reset form, he's excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Sebastian Marino. All right, who's the prosecutor?
Judge, the prosecutor is actually upstairs. She hasn't been here this morning. That's one of the reasons there was an offer that was kind of conveyed, but no negotiation because she hasn't been here. I'm asking for a 1 week recall just so that I can actually talk to her about the offer.
Miss Ferguson, recall this in 1 week.
Actually, not that day. I have to cook for my daughter's, the teachers have a lunch event. I cook cookies for them.
Oh.
I'd rather not. I'd show up completely musty, stinky and.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're bringing us something.
If there was an extra one.
No, I'm just joking.
I'm fine with even the 18th. I'll be in here, we'll be in here for a hearing anyway, so 18th is fine with me, Tuesday.
All right, Norman, November 18th. And then at that time, we'll need to discuss his conditions of bond.
Okay, I mean, that day should be, it should be played one way or the other. It's just a question of which way we go.
All right, Norma, that's set for disposition. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here for Brian Mahan?
Alex Scharf, Judge, President. Right.
Good morning. All right, State, did you tender an offer?
So 3 new cases were indicted on the 10th, Judge, so if I could just have a little bit of time to look at the 3 new to extend a global. I did tell defense I could tentatively give on the 2 that are indicted, but he would prefer if it would be a giant offer, so if I could just have a short reset to next week, I can send an email.
All right, Norma, recall this for the first week in December.
December 2nd.
All right, you'll be back on December 2nd. At that time, there will be an offer tendered, and then there's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date.
All right, Judge.
All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you, you too. Jonathan Navarro.
Judge, the interpreter is putting the headphones on. We're ready once that happens.
All right, thank you. And counsel, what is happening with your case?
Cell phone extracted. There was a search warrant. Actually, it was actually consented. So the state has the cell phone. They're extracting it. Discovery records. We believe that there could be some statements in there that could aid in either his defense or negotiating offer. So the state has it. And they're gonna, let me verify with Ashley. Do you have the data extracted yet, or it's to be?
Correct. We have the phone number, but what they're doing now is doing links, so I need you to give me a flash drive so I can upload it.
Hi, please.
I will give her a thumb drive. Probably can't do it tomorrow, but I can get it. Maybe I can drop it off the 5th floor window, or next week I'll give it to her. Whatever is on the cell phone record, we need time to review that.
All right.
And then
we have the interpreter here.
Yes.
Thank you. So it's my understanding with discovery states you have the extraction completed.
We do, Your Honor.
All right, in defense, you'll need to give them a USB or something to put it on?
Yes, Your Honor.
And other than that discovery, is there anything else outstanding?
Not to my knowledge, but no,
I don't believe so, Your Honor. And we've informed the state that Mr. Navarro would like to apply for probation. We're negotiating same with the state. I understand that they're not giving him an offer right now, but we need to see what's on these cell phone records.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for the last week in December for a plea deadline date.
If I can do December.
All right, December 16th will be your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. If you have not reached an agreement, then your next court date is going to be a quick turnaround for a jury trial.
Thank you,
Understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Brianna Luna.
Can we approach him?
Yes. All right, today's plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, we are in the process of getting medical records for her to submit to the state, and they're considering an alternative offer, potentially pretrial diversion. I have not been able to get those to the state yet, so we're asking for a reset to tender that to them so they can review it.
All right, your last plea deadline date is going to be December 1st. If an agreement is not reached, it's going to be a quick turnaround for a jury trial before the new year.
I thank you, Judge.
All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
And we
you.
be excused once we sign that?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, and you need to make sure you're on time for court.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Norma, that's December 1st. Who's next?
She says.
Hello. All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 013358 State versus Pablo Valdez. Can I have parties announced?
Melissa Alvin from the state.
Dwight Chumley for the defense.
All right, are there any applications in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Valdez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Valdez, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
You're charged with theft of property less than $2,500 with 2 or more previous convictions. As a state jail felony, the range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Valdez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 12 months in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine. The state will take in consideration 2025 PF 38482. There's to be no contact with Target or Walmart. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and cite it in both places?
Yes.
By citing that you're waiving your right to appeal, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
State offers into evidence states exhibit 1 with attachments.
No objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places and all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses? The state will call in the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Did you understand by entering into this plea, the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, discussed this case and the other case with him, and he's remorseful about it. He knows he's pretty young. He's 21, but he's been battling addiction for a while now, and hopefully he'll get some help inside there for a while and come straight out to some sort of help. But other than that, he'd like to do time.
All right, so let me just tell you what, the way I see your life going. What is your drug of choice?
Meth and heroin.
All right, so what's going to end up happening? You're taking the easy way out. You want to do your time. I'll let you do your time. But you're going to go to prison, well, the state jail facility, and you're going to have all these good intentions. It's like, I found the Lord. I'm going to be on the straight and narrow. Then time when you hit freedom and breathe free air, one of your friends or somebody's going to come up to you and you're going to end up using, and one or two things going to happen. Either you're going to get caught before you use, which is going to be a possession case, or either you're not going to get caught and you're going to continue to steal to support your habit, or either the last time you use will be the last time you use and somebody's going to be identifying your body. So if you don't get your life together, that's what your future will be. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. The court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 12 months in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. I request the therapeutic community
Thank you, Judge.
take in consideration 2025 PF 38482. There's to be no contact with Target or Walmart. And there's to be no contact with Adam A. Longoria. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. When you're released, we can go off the record. When you're released from the state jail facility, if you can't find a place that can help you with your addiction, if I'm still here, you come back here, I'll pick up the phone, call a place to help you. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you. Who's next? All right, Melissa Paez.
Judge, I was on one case and Amir Memorial was on the other ones.
Mhm.
Norma just appointed me to all the cases.
Okay.
There was a plea bargain deadline that a plea offer had been conveyed to Amir. It's a rather stout offer and I just got all the cases. I'd like some time so I can look at the evidence and figure out what I'm doing with them.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this for the second week in December?
Sure.
All right, so we'll bring you back on December 9th, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the next one's mine too, Judge. It's with the translator.
All right. No, that's an extension of the plea deadline date. All right, the court is calling DC 2021 CR 7552, State versus Guillermo Mejia Ortega. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Ashley Jones for the state.
Robert Maurer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Guillermo Mejia Ortega?
Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll state your name for the record.
Yes, Jacqueline Payan.
All right, you entered a plea to count one of no contest on September 23rd, 2025. According to the plea, the state is opposed to your application. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, Chapter 62 compliance, and no contact with the complainant. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
Not from the state.
not from defense, Judge.
All right, any witnesses from either side?
Not from the state, Your Honor, just argument.
All right,
Same with the defense, Judge.
all right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask the court to consider that these offenses happen against the most vulnerable of our community, children. In this particular case, these children were 10 and 11 years old. The victim named in this plea in count one, which the state proceeded on, she was 11 years old at the time that this offense took place. Your Honor, this isn't something that happened just one time, but as the victim sees in the slips, this continued for a period of time against our complainant and against her sister, an attempt against her sister. And the state would just like the court to consider that this defendant took away their essence, that he gave them something they're going to have to struggle with for the rest of their life. And we would ask the court to just take that into consideration and sentence this defendant to the 10 years in the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right, defense.
Judge, I reviewed the PSI with my client and I discussed the facts of the case. My client entered a plea and accepted responsibility for the offense. He's not a citizen of the United States. There is in fact an ICE hold, and he's awaiting deportation once his case is completed. What I'd ask the court to consider is granting his application for deferred and allowing him to be deported to Mexico. He was gainfully employed and I think trying to get citizenship. Obviously, that is off the table now. But I would ask the court to consider granting his application for deferred. If not, I would ask the court to sentence him at the low end of the range of punishment and allow deportation once he's finished his sentence.
All right, and why should I follow this plea? Why isn't he, headed for jury trial?
Your Honor, at this time, the state has spoken with the complainant's family, and this is the agreement that the complainant's comfortable with.
Judge, I can tell you, we negotiated this, I think in good faith, based upon one, not wanting to put the complainants through the possibility of a jury trial. And I talked to my client about the number of cases I tried like this and the potential result. And I think it's in the best interest of both parties. I guess one, for the complainants not to have to go through the trial, and or for my client to get the benefit of a plea bargain as opposed to the range of punishment that could be assessed at trial if he was convicted.
All right, court will find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. Chapter 62 compliant, so you'll have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your life. There's to be no contact with the complainant, no re-entry to the United States after you serve your sentence, no contact with minors, and no residing in households with minors. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we do have its own impact statement.
Okay. Brenda and Andrew. So in this case, where are we on discovery?
I believe I have all the discovery in hand. I just need an opportunity to go over it with Mr. Andrew. I have conferred with the state. I do also have an offer that when I go over the discovery.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can you set this for a plea deadline date, the last week in December that we're here, please?
16th.
All right, so we'll be back on December 16th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Damian Margarito Antonio. Hello. Oh, I'm doing fine. Good morning. So today is the plea deadline date?
We have, states agreed to pre-trial diversion. We are informing the court, we're filling out the application and turning it in today.
All right, I need a PTD date.
I can do it December 16th.
All right, you'll be back on December 16th. Make sure you follow through on everything that's asked of you, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I gotta go with you to 4-4. We had it done today though.
Thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 3906 State versus Jesus Santiago. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
And Jonathan Watkins for Mr. Santoyo.
And are you Mr. Santoyo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jesus Antonio Santoya who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 3906 for the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance penalty group 2 1 gram to 4 grams on November 15th, 2021 for a period of 4 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, on the state's original motion to interpretation of guilt, violation of condition number 21. On or about the 22nd day of March 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jesus Antonio Santoyo did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of Bexar County Supervision and Corrections Department intensive outpatient treatment as directed by the head or authorized personnel of that agency, and that the defendant failed to comply with the program requirements in violation of condition number 21.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Well, true, ma'am. State will waive the remaining violations on the original motion to enter adjudication of guilt as well as the violation on the first amended motion.
Any objection?
We have no objection to that, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading the violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
It was 20.
I'm sorry,
It was 21.
he was 21? What are you saying?
I believe you said violation of
Condition.
21 and.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was condition 21.
Great, thank you. I was speaking very quickly. Let me, Cindy, you appreciate them slowing me down. All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 21, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 21 true. All right, state, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking that this defendant's probation be extended for 1 year, that case conditions be altered and amended to include local ISF followed by ISP.
All right, in defense, what are you requesting?
And Judge, just so the court is aware, I do want the court to know that a drug court referral was made the last time we were present. I did speak to the COO, and I believe that he wasn't able to do drug court because they were at capacity.
Yes.
What we're respectfully requesting, Judge, we're on the same page with the state for pretty much the whole agreement. We're just asking that the ISF be held in abeyance. And I do want the court to pay attention to the history here. The history does not look good. Okay, I just want to be straight and out in the open with that. But I have encouraged him to attend NA meetings. He maintains to me that he has given up smoking altogether. He has a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, I believe.
Yes,
He's 23, Judge. He's about to be 24. I'm not trying to excuse any of his misconduct, but I think that that fear of God has struck him. He is scared here today. And Your Honor, we'd be willing to do weekly reporting and weekly UAs for however long the court would impose. So I'm asking that the agreement be for the extension of probation for 1 year, Your Honor, and respectfully, if the court were willing to give Jesus one last opportunity at this, I'd ask that he be given 0 tolerance, weekly reporting, weekly UAs, and that the ISF be held in abeyance. That's what we're asking for.
All right, probation, what do you recommend?
Judge, recommendation on the court summary is to extend 1 year amend the local ISF followed by ISP. I would like to note that would be resolution of the union office.
take care of that.
So what is happening with the new offense?
More than likely going to be asking intake to reject the offense.
Okay. So he's saying that he's going to, the state will address the new number 1. So that will not be an issue.
We'd also just ask for her to take judicial notice of the entire court summary.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing the court summary?
No, Your Honor. And
So I'm going to give you a choice. You only have 2 choices. But either choice you choose, you're going to be taken into custody today. And let me just tell you why. 1, probation has been working with you since 2021 for you to stop using. And it's continued over and over again. Or either, you'll have a dilute and then there will be a positive. And then it shows here that in February 6, 2023, you were negative. The 14th, you were negative, then you failed to submit, then you failed submit, then positive marijuana throughout the month of April. And then throughout the month of May, June, and then October, you failed to submit. Then February of 2024, you're positive. And it states here that they did do progressive sanctions with you. So they didn't even send it to me until,
What was that, man?
oh, that means that they don't necessarily ask for a motion to revoke on you. They take different steps. For example, they may say, he's using marijuana. Let's give him 30 sober meetings to get it in line. And then they'll say, yeah, he's still using marijuana. Then let's do this form of treatment. So they've given you different sanctions so that you wouldn't have to come before me on a motion to revoke. And it hasn't worked.
The only thing I remember doing just the classes, if I'm not mistaken.
And then you failed to comply with the instructions of intensive outpatient treatment. I mean, so it's been tried. So I can do one or two things, and it's completely up to you. But as I said, you're going to be going into custody. I can extend you for a year, and I'll extend you for a year, and you'll be taken into custody to do ISP, which is being recommended, or I can revoke you and sentence you to 2 years in the prison.
I'll do the treatment.
All right, so we'll extend for 1 year, deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include ISP.
Is it ISF?
I'm sorry, let me see what it says in here just one moment. Yes. All right, so it's local ISF followed by ISP. And probation, before he's transferred, if there's an opening in felony drug court, then that can be changed to felony drug court. Right now, they don't have an opening in felony
But I
drug
have
court.
to, would I have to go in today? Is there any way I could turn myself in? Like,
I'm sorry?
would I have to go in today, or can I turn myself in just to get stuff situated at the house?
No, you'd have to go in today. All right. And they're still going to be working, and if you'll maintain contact with probation to see if there's ever any openings in.
That's what my inquiry to the court was gonna be, is it, should there be an opening to drug court, would he be able to, would that referral
Yeah.
still be in place?
Yes. And the problem is they have a limited number of personnel over there. I always tell people, call your legislature and tell them to give them more money because it's truly a great program. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court?
I just want to I'll keep an eye on the drug court, because if that were, is that reflected in your notes as well?
Yes. All right. Is there anything else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Adrian Hernandez. All right. What is happening with this case?
So Judge, as you can see, there's 5 or 6 cases there. And Ms. Alban has not had enough time to be able to entertain our counteroffer. And they're actually Megan's cases. So we just need a short reset so that Megan can take a look at our counteroffer and see if we are in the process of trying to work these out.
All right. When do you want it recalled?
2 weeks is fine with me.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, you can recall this for 2 weeks for possible disposition?
Sure.
All right, we'll see you back on November 20th.
Okay, well, that's just 1 week. I don't know if that gives Megan. Yeah, yeah.
I give you December 4th, Judge.
All right, December 4th.
December 4th. That'd be great. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. John Anthony Alatorre. Why were you late for court?
I got what stuck in
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
stuck in the line.
All right, so court here starts at 9 a.m. You need to be on time, you understand?
I was looking for it too, because this is a different course than the last court I was at.
Well, now you know where it is, right?
Now I know, so I won't be late.
All right. So where are we on discovery?
So Judge, this was our first court date today. As far as I know, I have everything. I say that kind of hesitantly because sometimes things come in afterwards and we don't know till we see it. But I think we have everything.
All right, state, was the state able to tender an offer?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for a plea deadline date, the last week in December that we're here.
Judge, I'm out those last 2 weeks. I don't come back till January 6th. This,
All right,
no, I'm gone that day.
that's fine. Are you here on December 11th?
December 11th, I'm here.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Monroe Hurd. All right, counsel.
Yeah, sure.
So the last time we were here,
Yes.
there was an attorney appointed.
Correct.
Yes. So where are we on discovery?
Yes, Judge. So if the court recalls, this individual was at the state hospital and was restored to competency. In the discovery, Judge, it is quite voluminous. There are 77 videos.
Excuse me, you're talking too loud. I can't hear. Yes.
Judge, there's 77 videos currently in discovery. And I'm also wanting to contact the state hospital to speak with Mr. Monroe's case manager to see about his progress there. I'll respectfully request final discovery setting so that I can continue to review the voluminous discovery and make sure that there's nothing outstanding. It doesn't look like there's anything outstanding at this point, but I'm still going through the process of reviewing the 77 videos, Your Honor.
All right, when would you like this recall?
I believe 30 days would suffice, Judge, if we could do December the 11th.
All right, Norma, December 11th. And that will be final discovery. Do you have any questions? All right, we'll see you back then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kiara Henry.
Hello.
Hello, where's your attorney?
I have no idea.
All right, so this is what's going to end up happening. Oh, your attorney is Alberto.
Yes.
Alfredo?
Mm-hmm.
Norma, do you know where he is?
No, I haven't seen him yet. Oh, wait, he's in. He should be in. I spoke with him earlier.
He did come in. I think he went to. All right, so are you here in Bear County?
No, I live in Michigan. I moved back home to Michigan.
All right, Norma, this is being recalled. And it's being recalled for November 17th.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Mario Ernesto Hernandez, come forward. Hello.
How you doing, John?
Hi, I'm doing fine. You're going to be recalled back on November 17th. That will be your final plea deadline date. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you. Enrique Soriano. Court is calling 2025 CR 008253 State versus Enrique Soriano. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Nicole Yates for the state of Texas.
And Ron Ross for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Soriano?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Soriano, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. So here's the question. You are proceeding on 2 counts, one as a third degree and one as a first degree?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you all have in your plea bargain page, you need to signify what the plea is for the first degree and what it is for the third degree, because you all have 18 years. So if you all will correct that.
Just want it to run concurrent, Your Honor.
No. If you'll say what is the plea. So for the first degree, you all have agreed to 18 years.
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then so I'll need to know what the plea is for the second degree.
Third degree.
I'm sorry, the third degree, correct.
Did we just do the third concurrent with the first?
No, I mean, you just put down
years,
how-
number of
what,
years.
what years did y'all agree on for the third degree? All right, Mr. Soriano, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what amount of time, we're off the record, what amount of time are you all asking for in the third degree? I can't read this.
Should be two.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. 2 on the third, 18 on the first concurrent.
All right, do y'all want to initial this for me?
What if we did up top? Your Honor?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, did you understand in count one, you're charged with possession of child pornography?
Yes, Your Honor.
And count two, you're charged with, I'm sorry, in count one, you're charged with possession of child pornography as a first degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. And count two, you're charged with possession of child pornography as a third degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you'll sign. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Judge.
Mr. Soriano, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Judge.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
By entering this plea, if you're not a US citizen, you will be denied naturalization, re-entry, and you will be deported. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, count one, you're to be sentenced to 18 years in the prison. Count two, you're to be sentenced to 2 years in the prison. They're requesting that the counts run concurrently. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
It is, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
To count one, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
To count two, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State any evidence.
State tender states 1 and all attachments pending objection.
No objections.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
All right. Why should I follow this plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor, I would ask you to follow the plea bargain agreement. The first degree charge stems from an incident where you will be likely charged in a different county. The other possession charge is probably on the spectrum of what I see, the least offensive.
None of these cases are good, but as far as the spectrum, it's a lesser one, and these were primarily photos. I don't know if he took them or he had them on his phone or not, but there was a minimum number. It wasn't tremendous number of them. So
It's a substantial amount of time for this. It's not it's not penetration. It's not that kind of stuff.
All right. In count one, the court will sentence you to 18 years. In count two, the court will sentence you to 2 years. Court will give you credit for any time served. Count one and count two legally must run concurrently. There's to be no residing in households with minors. There's to be no contact with minors. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because it's plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do we still have the pending MTR?
Your Honor, no, he was continued on probation for that DWI several months ago. Well, and he's been incarcerated ever since.
Well,
I'm not aware of an MTR being
well,
filed.
do you want him revoked on that, or do you want him?
We're like, going to be revoked on that and.
All right, so if you'll speak with probation. All right, Norma. On his other case, the motion to revoke, I'm sorry, a motion to revoke hasn't been filed. Just recall that for the 17th. Are you available on the 17th?
That's Monday.
Yes.
Later in the morning, I should be.
All right, Norma, recall this for the 17th. And that'll be on the motion to revoke.
Your Honor, does state need to be here?
No, there's someone else to be here.
Thank you, Judge.
If you'll,
Cause number for that motion to revoke.
yes, it's 2024 CR 3163. And I imagine they can just put this case in the motion to revoke. All right,
Could they withdraw that motion? Would that resolve it?
no. Well, there's not a pending motion to revoke. So if you all want to just have the motion to revoke filed, then that will be taken care of and he won't be on probation.
But he's gonna be in jail anyway. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to y'all, but I'll see y'all back on the 17th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Make, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.